months now, we know they get salary at all. Every day we dey go work, we dey come, we dey go work, we dey come. We get to family then. We get all that thing. Besides, if they pay we or them pull we per the work, then pay we pull we dey go feel that things how we dey survive. But we no go dey work na say we don't sign contract. We no go just left like that. Don't they know they pay we. So na 7 months, so good 7 months, we know they get salary. But every day we dey work, we know they know nothing. We know
they really don't suffer we for this money as so. And we don't work for them already. The problem with the money now, we see we don't take almost months, then they can then pay 1 month. From where they pay with the month of April. From then and they say up till now we are the talk so. No, not able for talk to we.
Up to 7 months now, the government will pay we. They promise we say they will pay we, but they give no money. And team be the money for you right now.
They work my same way so say, because of this couple, make they don't begin for strike. Because this habit don't pass mark.
We know the work. And then anybody when they come out say the go and they don't pay we don't go allow them. And when the cry say the president says like you read this because I sabotage to them. For make you governments get work man in this country, we don't sacrifice their mind and they work for you. Good 7 months, they don't pay. We go na NACOVAC, we don't save no money in a bank. We go na bank say nothing no carry out. Then someone we don't tell we say it don't pay. How we deal in the society?
This it don't pass mark. So we get families there, and now day we stay at the Gonde. Day and night, now day we they sleep.
We don't meet there, we don't waka, we don't go different sizes, we don't go push we go so push we cancel. So say we don't decide now say we dey strike, we not for work until we get to salary. There is nothing, no encouragement, we no want encouragement now. Salary we want now. We don't decide say we dey strike, we want to salary, and we want we deserve forget we don't.
Maya from Hastings Treatment Center end up calling government for look inside this issue quick one. As they say, plenty of them don't they suffer past mark one. After them concern ya, again, I've been call and send message to Solomon Jamiu when I the NACOVAC spokesman, but he no me return to me call or message, just like the last strike, where we happen a special court. But as soon as Ready Democracy gets the side of government, we go update the public on the thing them where they don't put in place for settle them problem here. For the Society for Ready Democracy, Mina Usman Kamara, the reports.
The program Good Morning Salon they continue and 7:14 at the time from the studio clock. We look at other issue at the program this morning. Also, the Deputy Program Manager na the National Disease Surveillance na the Ministry of Health and Sanitation, Dr. Joseph Sam Kanu say they don't fail not say plenty of the medicine them where people can take for treat sick them like malaria, infection and other one them not able for treat them sick here again because people don't misuse them. We make them not they work in their body. Well, it say then go use the 2021 World Antimicrobial Resistance Week for raise awareness to people about medicine them and the impacts where medicine can get to the well body sector. It talk this for SECA, the World Antimicrobial Resistance Week, where they begin today, Thursday, November 18, 2021, with the theme Spread Awareness, Stop Resistance. Well, Dr. Kanu talk more to Musa Kamara.
Antimicrobial resistance now like a condition or a situation wherein you take some medicine then we don't use for treat infections, things like gonorrhea, malaria, TB or HIV. Where at a point now where you take the same medicine and they at the same dose where we don't use them for treating sickness and they work again because the tumbu that way they use where they go for go kill, they don't change in such in a way that the medicine and they don't able to kill again. This year the theme where we get now spread awareness, stop resistance. And we get the overarching slogan is antimicrobial, handle with care. So all these they try for tell we say people need for know about this problem we talk about, and we need for handle antimicrobials with care. We not just need for use them when we feel for use them. We use them when there is absolute need for use them.
Now we talk to the public. What in exactly you talk about and how the situation or how you can describe the situation of the level of resistance of the NCK and the drugs that we are available for treat them?
Thank you very much for that. They join this fight for create the awareness because inside Salon we don't get evidence We don't get people that we don't do studies. People that we don't do a lot for actually showing the evidence for say. Indeed, we get a big problem of that. People that we don't study, we don't show say, but who of them to put them way then at this country, then medicine that will be not they use for kill them, they know they kill them again. So we get evidence for so say, indeed. Then all medicine that will be done they use for treat some of them sick, then we know they use that again. For example, when we be small, we they use chloroquine for treat malaria. It be very cheap, they easy forget. But now we know they use chloroquine again. We they use them Locmal, them Alfan, they're very, very expensive. Even other sickness, like somebody who go a born infection, they use simple medicine with una ampicillin, they move a capsule, they use. But now then, they injection they use because then first time they use, they know they work again because resistance don't develop.
You now the deputy manager disease surveillance at the Ministry of Health and Sanitation. On a day like this, waiting now on your own position and waiting on they come up with or waiting on they talk about now exactly in situations like this.
In a day like this, the most important thing we want to create is then maybe see how they talk about now like a golden opportunity we inherit. So we need for handle them medicine and with care. We don't need for just take them because we want to take them. We for make sure say we actually take them when we truly need them. And also somebody will train for write them for you, prescribe them for you, now for do that day. And once they mark them for you, you for make sure say you take the correct dose, you take her exactly how they tell you for take her. Not just for for overuser, for user the way how they not tell you for use. Because when you do the wrong thing, now all land they make less resistance occur. So at this level, we want to create that awareness.
All right. Well, that's the Deputy Program Manager na the National Disease Surveillance na the Ministry of Health and Sanitation, Dr. Joseph Kanu. Been talking that interview with Musa Kamara for SICA, the 2021 World Antimicrobial Resistance Week, where they begin today, Thursday, November 18, on the theme Spread Awareness, Stop Resistance. The program is still listening to na Good Morning Salon 7:44. Now the time from the studio clock, and we tell na earlier na the program this morning. We can talk to the Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, Dr. David Shengeh, where they can tell you about different things that don't happen at the ministry for help improve on the basic education in the country as it don't attend different international sessions them where it don't be part of, and it go explain you we waiting come out inside the international sessions and they usai it go represent Salon and how that will get for help impacts na the education sector na the country. One panel may be attend na the COP26 climate and on education. It may also be part of the high-level steering committee where it attend the Paris Peace Forum, and also they can tell you about the education sector plan development and GPE eligibility and plenty other things them where the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education don't they do this BNTM for the education sector. Good morning and welcome to the program, Dr. Shengeh.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
All right, before we can go na the international forums them where you been be part of this BNTM on behalf of Salon which you present today and waiting come from then different international meetings and the way you may attend. Let me just know they can say try to the begin at home, na the host. Waiting on they happen locally in terms of basic education where they lead before we can go international. Waiting at the latest updates na the basic education sector.
Thank you. Actually, the thing with the local, as you say, really, really important. Just this week, we get several activities then where they go on. With the girls in they call teaching at the right level. Usually, the way we're picking in the land, all picking different. All man sabi different thing, all my background different. So part of what they do within the ministry now, how we want to improve learning outcomes for each individual Peking. And so we look at how we explore within the call teaching at the right level, for get program on that day, for training with teacher them. We also, for Peking there, like inside early childhood development, nursery school and primary school, we look at within the call play-based learning. And this now a partnership between governments of Sierra Leone, BRAC International, and Rights to Play, where Lego Foundation the support. But we and so these all man people in the community, all the teacher training institution them, the university there, private sector, private nursery school association, government, TSC, and we they look at how we they bring more play into curriculum, because that through play, particularly for small picking, nine in the land with creativity and all. And then on the most important thing where they happen right now in the country in the education sector, now we education sector plan where they develop across the entire sector from pre-primary, Tiguna, tertiary institution them. And this really would they do in close collaboration with now we also they do co-leads with Ministry of Technical and Higher Education, because now one sector. And the education sector plan, now they tell we and the country what we want for the in 5 years. Now then the government they fund education on, now then the international partner and they fund education on. And waiting interesting about this process is that now first of all, now the first thing is we local Salon people and now we develop we lead we sector plan development. That's one. Two, now the first thing is when the ministry now in the lead, now in the capacity they from. We director them from Ministry of Technical and Higher and Ministry of Basic, now then the lead on this process. And the minister then, particularly Minister Ahuri, I want to tell and thank you, now done the champion this. Minister Wuri fully involved in this process and the lead on the ESP development. And we do what they call education sector analysis, and then they're available. We do a thorough, in-depth analysis of what's in the sector. We do what they call joint sector review across all districts, and we've been getting our forum, that international forum on future of education dialogue, the education dialogue, where people then come up from all sides. And we don't go now, the lead writer then are local consultants there. Now then we hire and train, and people don't know the ministry, and they don't draft down they don't bring down the back out to the people. We bring school picking them, so it's so inclusive that school picking them self get voice pan this. We bring CSO then. We don't engage a consortium of CSO then we the inside the sector for go out into all the districts then. We don't engage NGO them through service level agreements, and we Ministry of Planning we really collaborate with them. So now a really wonderful example of how ESP for the we partner there like GPE, UNICEF, then they look to it and then they gladly for the example we Salon they do lead with.
Talking about education sector development plan, and you see Salon they develop their own sector plan now. For somebody who they listen, what are the key things them we they inside this sector development plan we will change the narrative in education system? Thank you.
So we been get plan, and now the plan just they expire now, and so after and what will be one for do now that will not be just one. We come with free quality school education. We change all thing at once. So the plan will be in the 2018 to 2020. We been get a plan, and then we extend that to 2021. Now we develop the 2022 plan moving forward. Then get what they call Sustainable Development Goals, SDG, winning the whole world being done decide on what we need for meet by 2030. And SDG 4, now they talk about quality education. And SDG 4, primarily they talk about inclusive and equitable access to learning, lifelong learning. And so we, ESP, they focus on this inclusion. So one of the major parts then, how for make sure say all man get access to quality education. So radical inclusion, the one in a village, the one that we get disability, the one that we never get money for pay. So this is a major part. Inclusion, equity, access, a major part to we guaranteeing education sector financing. Salona one part the example them around the world where they invest in human capital, and we talk about human capital. And they use you as a model because we try. We not get plenty money, but we still invest in education. So how for figure out then how for engage with private sector, inside how for innovate data and digitization and evidence like a major part to what they do. And then this lifelong learning part here, so that we picking more through basic education, you're able to go through technical, tech, TVET, you're able to go pursue through SSS and go formal academia and go into skills development. So skills development, a major part. And maybe we'll come back to the climate change. But now, again, we inside this ESP, how they put climate education, a major part about ESP.
And earlier you talk about when I do an analysis on the sector. Doing the analysis and with the sectors them we don't mention or the body them we don't mention, stakeholders them, waiting exactly when I not say that the key factors them we the drawback education at the country.
Excellent question. So the analysis they available online, but teachers, right? So teacher management, teacher quality, teacher level, teacher. The world, not just Salone, but the world need for rethink about how would they approach teacher them. I mean, talked to the minister in Italy. About 80% of the education budget now for teacher salary. For we, about 75% of our education budget now on teacher and university and recurrent salary, right? So it's not abnormal. This is not a global thing. But the teacher then they make up about I think between 40 to 43% of the entire payroll. But not to just that we not get enough teachers for teach the picking them, but it is also that unfortunately the quality of the teacher then also vary, particularly where you go now urban and remote, remote and rural areas. And so we get many cases where, especially the teacher that will not be on payroll, not get the qualification, not get the skills for the teach. We just published what they call the EGRA. So they do plenty analysis na the Ministry for Inform what they do. EGRA na the early grade reading assessment and the early grade mathematics assessment for Pekin with the primary school. And, it's disappointing, but plenty of the question that we Pekin will answer, the teacher themselves not able to answer them. Many of the instances. So if the teacher not happy, you're not able to teach. If the teacher said, so we need for, and now then one pan the major thing and we find and we try to think outside the box on how we go address teacher quality, and teacher availability and teacher access.
So moving a bit from within the paper policies them and other things we don't make mention of as to within on I don't do so far. Let we go to the realities on the ground. You don't be minister for over 2 years now at the Ministry of
just about 2 years. Tomorrow night I'm 2 years by day.
Okay, 2 years now the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education. How you go describe the current status of the classrooms them in terms of furnitures and other facilities them we suppose for the schools them?
Excellent question, and then I one pandy challenge them as well. Now, and a couple of reports just come out actually where they mention out of school. So we get the out of school study, and just one of the things in the workshop then what they happen right now, they develop a strategy for out of school strategy right now. The team then they as well they develop this as we speak. You get the out of school girls report. We get the streets children report. And even with all of this, right, then reports there, they tell we say, we still get Boku picking them within a street, within a house, we're not in a school. Then a one, okay, so more hold that out there. The second part now that when free quality school education, when President Bill started free quality school education inside 2018, we add nearly 10% of the population to the classroom inside one instance. Over 700,000 picking and go from pre-primary through senior secondary. But we not add immediately, it's not possible for me to add, classrooms where they accommodate. Well, because if I tell you to kind of school today, I'm not going to build classroom today. The classroom they take 1 year,
but
2 years.
But how you call me for going to school where say I not get, for example, site for Sidom, the provisional days?
No, we provide furniture. So slowly, and actually, again, back to evidence. We have been there, Paris. I've been there, talk to somebody where they talk about what they call stunting, right? So human capital development. Generally, they talk about 3 different things there. One, what they call quality learning adjusted years. That means say how many years you spend at school and how many years you actually did learn. The second part is stunting, nutrition, and then the third part now maternal health. So now they determine a country in human capital development. But so this is a wonderful measure. This report here say actually they measure the effect of stunting on quality learning versus the number of people in a classroom to teacher. So often we look for say, oh, if I be, and the inside we education act or we policy, oh, if I be 20-1, if I be 40-1. But actually, where you take a step back in terms of whether the picking the land or not, the effect of stunting and nutrition significantly greater and get a lot more impact on the picking learning outcome as to whether a 40 or 41 or 77 picking in a class. So one, yes, you need to get a lower number of picking within a class, but the point around learning, the most important variable, not so that we get 40 people in a class. And that this act being the same with people it being hard to understand. And this principle, not just the principle of inclusion, we rather 80 people in a class, we to one teacher with the land than 40 in a class with the land comfortably and the other 40 they on the bridge. It's just that we need to get a lot of we picking there for go through literacy. That said, over the last 3 years, we actually don't add plenty classroom there and don't build plenty school there. Add plenty furniture there. So that if you look at the annual school census, you see say the number of classroom that we need repair, they go down.
So now that's just bring me to the next question. So you're a man of data. You look for the talk and they back them up with figures and the actuality as per waiting on a kingdom gather. So inside the past 3 years, where government don't implement the free quality education, waiting you go safely say now the number of schools them we get the exact classroom and furnitures them we suppose for the schools them where on the implement the free quality education.
So you don't get exact number. I know. So parts of people then like for say, oh, if it be 40-1 or if it be 25-1, the world and evidence don't the show say that number they arbitrary, right? So if you get big classroom, if you get big hall, you're able to put 70 people inside big hall.
Yeah, but like later they say like you want for safely say for the Western area, for example, we get 6 government schools where we know say it get complete the structure complete. We get chairs and other facilities.
We get chair and no picking out they would sit on the rain or on the sand.
Now the whole country.
No, we not there sit down there. If picking the way they go sit on the rain or on the sand and which back to climate, and we get what's in they call makeshift structures.
Because now that's one
so makeshift structures. Not a structure, not to understand and on the really to sit down. Myself don't go na the village na won't be na inside Court Barry the beginning of the land class 1
they
to
all
class
get
3.
chair.
Inside the Court Barry, yes, and they sit down. But my point is not to say na inside Court Barry them in the land now. Then auntie don't build school for them, you know. But the point is that the essence of learning, actually, if we think about the learning outcomes, yes, they try to bring safe, conducive environments and that make they build. By the way, inside the current project they deploy, they build 510 classrooms, additional 510 classrooms over the next 3 years. So we understand the value of capital development in this, but we understand the value of capital development, we understand the value of curriculum, we understand the value of teacher and teacher training, we understand the value of the safe environment, and we do all of that at the same time.
So continue for the week inside the program. In name na Dr. David Shengeh, Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education. The program you listen to na Good Morning Salon, where they can to inform the society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM.
Sierra Leone Salon Commercial Bank don't come with new banking products them for make life easy. With Million Online Bank and Million Mobile app, you can able for use Salon Link money transfer for send money to anybody like you not get bank account. Transfer or receive money na the same bank or any other bank. Transfer money to person or office like you not get the account number. Buy Ed-Salite, pay other bill them, and now get advanced salary. You don't need for worry again, but almost money then you earn. Because you can able for pay for things the way you buy in a supermarket and other shop them with the quick response code payment. Yagbadon done for we boss man them. With Beyond Online Direct, you can upload salary, pay all your supplier them, sell forex to Salon Commercial Bank, and watch your account anytime. If you need the app, download them from Google Play Store or any Apple Store, or go to Salon Commercial Bank website www.slcb.com. Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, delivering God.
The program na Good Morning Saloon, where they can to you from 98.1 FM. We will bring you this edition of the program Good Morning Saloon. Uzakman, my name.
and Mabel Kaba.
We still get the Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education inside the program, Dr. David Shengeh. There they talk about the issues them or the activities that within they do as a ministry for ensure they improve the learning condition in the country. Mr. Minister, we don't talk about the access, teachers' access, and also other things that they face the education sector. But one most important thing where people they get challenged with the free quality education are that most times we picking them go down sit for schools them when them for go then schools them, whether the principals or somebody around the school they ask for money, and sometimes the money plenty to an extent that some parents then they find it difficult for afford them. What in they do in this sector plan development for include school authorities them for making them know the essence of what in exactly they do and tap for take plenty money in a parent they earn.
Yeah, thank you. Firstly, over the last 3 years, we don't increase the number of, actually between 2018 and 2020, I don't know, they can't do the 2021 annual school census now. We increased the number of schools and where they get government subsidy from about 60% to 80%. And what does that mean? That means say if you now government school, public school, right? Government or government assisted, where they get government money. You don't need for take money in a picking hand or parenting hand for tuition free or for exam. So just the last couple of days, then send me video of some parents them with them in the take I think 75,000 or so now they hand Waterloo. What thing we do? We take that video, we send it to the deputy director. The deputy director send it to the school quality assurance officer. The school quality assurance officer, what they call inspector, go now the school, engage the principal. The principal say, you not even be no. Then they meet the principal. Then they meet the cross section of the teacher them, and now they get to meet a lot more of the parents. So a couple things in that process of how we will correct the issue. Great, some parents capture the incidents. Then reporter in this case through social media, but I want to pick family and do say then go able to contact with 8060 any number call 8060 now with situation room. Now the best way for make me we get on directly, or you go now you school board, or you go now you find your quality assurance officer in number now your area and contact them. But either way, a parent take action. It can't we then we close the loop as well in terms of quality assurance. And then the school head get for take action again with everybody. But I mentioned this pipeline because for make we solve that kind of problem the way you talk, all man need for take action. The Cumbra, first of all, no need for pay money. You know, plenty time we Cumbra then can and explain and then you ask them say, okay, but why make you pay this money? Oh, I just want me picking go and the watch no more. I just want me picking go convent no more. Is that but you picking get inside all that school, but you don't want for me picking go to that school. So one, just for me we accept say not to all man we able go to a certain school then because we just get too many people then we put for that school there. If you don't accept that day, then now you go begin for member now have to go Ben way. And if you try for go Ben way, one Jew man within at the gates go one serviceman go take advantage of the Ben for say I want small money. And often, we people then can report to we and me quality assurance officer and then can say, tell me the school, tell me the teacher will take the money that you had, tell me the school and say, no, I don't go want to talk because I know one problem for me picking. I understand. But we're not able to solve that kind educational corruption and if you not tell me now who's principal or who's school or who's teacher, because if they take action, we don't suspend plenty teacher there, we don't suspend plenty a principal then the CPSS and NACOT, then they take action.
But when don't they make this known to the public? For example, school A, we don't suspend this person though because of this or this, because naming and shaming can get impact past do them secretly when at the school something no more know the public no.
I don't think so that secret will be the one, but then a good idea. I think say
so now
next
school
time
them when I don't ever suspend principal head teacher for
I go engage
alleged
with team.
corrupt practice.
I go engage with team and then I go make them know say you don't come with good ideas, say more may we make a public.
So let me look at this sector plan, development plan, and this issue where they talk about because it get great impact on the education sector. Who side in the ask couple from parents them. How would they include this sector or these parts na the sector development plan for ensure say una eradicate them or minimize them?
Yeah, I think they require multi-stakeholder. So in the same way anti-corruption, the act add education corruption as part of the major offenses within the charge for. We need for look at we act them. We ministry they currently get for updates we Education Act with the Developer Basic and Secondary Education Act out of the Education Act of 2004. The act will be developed in 2004. Again, Dr. Wuri do a fantastic job attending as a minister, that been just post-war, and we look at how we they bring more girls in school, more rural schools, develop more schools, build the institution and like school boards and school management committee. But now different. Now we need for equip the school them and the school management committee and board them for take more action. And so inside this ESP, one Panitina and we as well as school management, really how people then will take responsibility. You know, unfortunately, some school boards then they I don't people then they say, and I mean they're not I know engage on that. They say school boards they go sue or they take government na court for something. It don't make sense because the school board then they represent we as government. The school board now for implement within government want for do now they manage the school then. And so I really think say we for strengthen the school management committee and board of governors then for be responsible and take action in the interest of the Pekin there, but with government position.
Okay, continue for the week inside the program. Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, Dr. David Shengeh.
The program Good Morning Salon they continue and we look at one point we headline story them. Also member of parliament them don't agree for one motion where the leader for the main opposition APC party in parliament, Honorable Chair Majuba move for make the Minister of Finance and the bank governor go explain to them proper one the reason we make government want for change the loans. Well, Princess Spears now we parliamentary reporter I gonna report on what be happen at parliament yesterday.
This being time, the bank governor Professor Kelfala Kalon, they announce say government go reduce the loans, outside them go come with small notes, so that people not go to work with plenty couple, but for make this happen, make Wednesday, November 17, the Minister of Finance, Dennis Vandi, don't go let the Bank of Salon Act number 5 of 2019, where under this, you get the redenomination of the Loans Regulations 2021, Statutory Instrument number 14 of 2021, and SEP, the Public Financial Management Act 2016. But the instrument we get for do with the redenomination. Now one way the leader for the main opposition APC party in parliament, Honorable Chair Majuba, move motion for, as he say, this need more public education.
So considering the importance of this and its wider implication on society, and considering the level of illiteracy within our country, I want to move that use your good offices, Mr. Speaker, and that of the leader of government business, for us to have two levels. One, for a direct engagement with members of parliament in committee room number 1, where the minister and his team, inclusive of the governor and his team, will take members of parliament through. Even us as MPs, Mr. Speaker, we know very little on what has just been laid on the table. And if we know very little, just imagine what the public will know. After being educated, we'll want to debate this very document so that the public will follow the processes for them to be more enlightened.
But the leader of government business, Honorable Matthew Numa, although he be support this motion, being a different view.
I think it's not only for us to engage in the legislative activity for us to get some edification on the statutory instrument that has to do the denomination, the revaluation. We also need to have the presentation before time. We should have the presentation before time so MPs can read and understand what they are going to be told in the committee room. At this stage, we cannot really engage the bank governor, who is the professional in this, and his team. So I think it's a very good move in the direction you have stated. We really want people to understand why do we need to have some of these changes in our currency.
As all same, during any debates, the speaker now gets the final decision, and the speaker in decision in this particular case may support the motion of the opposition leader.
There are two implications here. The first is laying this instrument on the table of the House has constitutional implications that are clearly spelled out under Section 170, subsection 7 of the Constitution of 1991. Secondly, if you look at that provision, there are procedures that could have been used, but with the indulgence of the entire House, those procedures will be set aside in favor of a meeting in Committee Room 1. It's been suggested that that meeting in Committee Room 1 should take place on Monday, next Monday. I see no objection, therefore it is so decided. Next Monday, the Minister of Finance, together with the Governor of the Bank of Sierra Leone and his technical team, will engage all members of Parliament in Committee Room 1 to explain to them the import, the significance of this statutory instrument. It is so decided.
As member in a parliament don't invite the minister and the bank governor for go tell them the reason we make them change this money, plenty people ask question the time when the country go begin use this new couple. As all this they been a parliament, member in a parliament with some amendments them don't turn the Finance Act 2022 to law. Outside part of the change when they do na this act gets for do with the tariff where they don't reduce per iron rod from 10% to 5%, cement from 20% to 10%, any equipment where the Defense Council for buy, not for go through procurements. And this particular clause in this act been got plenty attention at the well, where we make the member of parliament and we go into votes. Outside the government bench, we get 28% votes, and the opposition bench, we get 27%. And same way so, part of the change, the Minister of Finance don't get the same power now like Parliament for take action against anybody or institution where the audit report go indict say they're not able for account for the couple where they use. This and plenty other change them happen inside this act before member of Parliament them turn this act to law. As this act don't turn law, this act go help support public finance and help reduce leakage in the country and save give government the power for add and reduce tax on different things them. For Radio Democracy, Princess Pierce reports.
Because money easy for loss, like how it easy for broke egg. You save not for life you couple business to people that will not sabi, and one day we get ben. Union Trust Bank get all the correct and master sabi people them for help make you couple better. We na Union Trust Bank. Team up Tiganga. So your money go fine with no wahala. And you no go get we kind service no other side. Make good use of we SMS alert where they show you your money transaction. Enjoy we internet banking services for check your accounts. Safe, you can visit we website on www.utb.sl for no more but we order plenty products and service them. Now Union Trust Bank. Excellence now it's on card. Union Trust Bank, the force and true Solomon Bank.
The program Good Morning Salon they continue, and we still get the Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education at the studio this morning. David Shengeh, they are the talk. Dr. David Shengeh, they are the talk about waiting the ministry don't they do so far as well. Coincidentally, tomorrow you say they make you 2 years as minister now the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education. So apart from the paperwork, waiting you go explain say na the landmark success stories them way Dr. Shengeh don't achieve inside 2 years as minister na the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, taking into consideration the realities of waiting they happen on the schools them.
I mean, I think so too. I'll answer that differently. Personally, as an individual, I don't like privilege for serve. I don't think there's no better thing one can do than for serve your country and for be of service. And so I want to tell President Bill plenty thank you for where he puts confidence in me for being in this position. Not a blessing and privilege. So then personally, but as a ministry, we get plenty things that we don't happen at the ministry. we all can be proud of. We all as the staff, but we all as citizens as well, because we are picking the benefits from education. One, the curriculum. Somebody independently came to me this week and say, it decide for can salon, it volunteer on a salon, it decide for can volunteer on a salon because they read the basic education curriculum all right and the framework. That's what I say for thank you to the CEO and the rest of the team because they really do a fantastic job. So with curriculum not been there. We're not been get a curriculum framework, and right now we get inside 2018. Again, one of the fantastic things that we the former minister do in the previous governments. Now they may not begin then work on the ECD curriculum with UNICEF, but now we get curriculum framework and ECD work. We get basic education, primary and junior secondary school curriculum framework. We get civic education curriculum framework and material. And now we get a draft of the SSS curriculum framework as well. We'll get for lead to syllabus them. So this is really fantastic for the country because we're not going to talk about quality education if we know change and develop ways we're picking them for land. So then one of the things that we don't do, we're really proud of as a ministry. The next thing now on the data and digitization, we don't bring Salon are the only country in Africa we annual school census data from 2012 to 2020 linked, matched. We're able to do all kinds of study and analysis on.
How people access them?
You can ask we, but for the last 2 years, 3 years, the education data hub, they online, and people then they reach out to we and they collaborate. So we actually get a thorough level of data. And so I can say, it no matter which indicator you look at today, it better pass yesterday, it better pass before yesterday, because we get the data and because we look at all the different indicators there. So data and digitization, the person the leader and the Mrs. Adama Momo and the planning team don't do really, really well with the annual school census. And this now a legacy. And this now they allow we for build technology and solution there, like the exam checkout, the results analysis, because we also link the results. So data and digitization are the second one. The third one are really on policies. We don't implement plenty policy then, radical inclusion, anti-corporal punishment, the teacher harmonized policies and guidelines. We really done the push forward with regards to evidence decision making. And then maybe the inclusion and access. Education radio, for example, we know when COVID happened, we need education radio, and now we even further expand and we do analysis for match side. We need for put the radio transmitter there. Now we don't buy 4 new transmitter there, and what we get for install. And really, the goal that will for bring education radio as a normal part of learning and for reach all sides.
So you go say inside this 2 year where you don't do at the Ministry of Education, quality don't do na the educational sector.
I would say we done on the positive trend, right? And the way usually I can argue with people and say quality not to one day, not to instance, not to threshold, maybe a minimum threshold, but quality not a trend. And I can say the evidence for say we do the right thing and we on the right track now that if you show me any indicator in learning, we do better. In terms of the indicator then they now the SDG4 very clear. So access, gender parity, girls education, inclusive education, lifelong learning, adult education, all on it don't expand. And so ultimately we go able confidently say we there on the positive trend. We get plenty work for do, but we there on the right track, and I need to give we a lot of hope.
So then another right track that we talk about in terms of quality in the educational sector and salon. As the minister, since you take over inside 2 years, you don't able to convince any of your colleague ministers in a cabinet for encourage them, for let them picking them attend the government schools, them also they implement the free quality education.
Again, I can get this question and all me company ministers and globally they get this question. And they're not one indicator of quality. The indicator of quality in the system, now I just mentioned. Because school, say you begin to go, if you begin to go PO or Edwards or Laura Dove, than a choice where the parents they make. And you get
but
various
you
reasons.
always get the best choice where you want for let you picking at and in terms of education.
Best
you have for
different.
send aside also you know say go get the best among the rest.
Best very different. People and the way they choose for sending begin in both school. Me don't think the both school are the best school. Even though I don't say the big palaver people there. Appeal me go pure
in
the
this
best
case,
school.
now the government and versus private schools are the
Let's talk about people then the way they choose for sending picking go PO versus both school. If I get boy picking go I want me go PO because na PO na the I feel it's not the best school in the country. And so best different, best they define best space. By the way, actually, people then get a perception, again, myths, okay? And will they publish this data soon? Two things I want to mention. Over the last couple of years, over the last 3 years, because now they measure, now we get the data for learning assessment. The number of Pekin where they pass Becker, number of Pekin increased by about, I think, 60%. The pass rate increased now about 13% between 2021 Becker and 2018. And one of the things that were very interesting, and my team just give me this analysis. If you plot private school pass rate across the entire country, and you plot government school and mission school, people then they assume say private school they high pass below government school, but that is not true actually, and with the published and there. So usually we get a perception about pass rates.
So almost cabinet ministers and picking the benefits from the free quality education.
All money benefits from free quality education.
Directly, as in
every child in this country, they benefit from free quality school education.
Now government schools and in their
No, because free quality school education are about curriculum, now about teacher training, now about standards, now about examination. It no matter what side you did, now government pay examination fee. So everybody, this is the myth. Every child in this country, every child, they benefit from free quality school education. If some parents say, me know they benefit from free quality school education because they go private school, then they're being I don't want to say they're dishonest, but then just no. So make I inform all family and say, no family, nobody in this country that will not benefit from free quality school education, none. Because of all the components of FQSE.
Earlier we will start for talk. We will talk about sitting accommodations and other facilities now the schools them. And we look at the dialogue we CSOs get with governments. The education sector now one will be attend this dialogue now put local. And one thing the CSOs, the civil society organizations then come up with now proposal for wash facilities now schools them. When one then being called for then 15% of school subsidies for be part of the issues or the money for address wash issues them now the schools. And also you respond to that now being that the CSOs then they attend the validations. As a ministry of basic and senior secondary education, what thing that you take on the issues of wash facility in our schools them, especially when the education data hub they should see 2 million people exposed to disease them we get for do with hygiene issues in our schools there.
So excellent question, and as a follow-up, thank you for mentioning that CSO dialogue. It really they show government in engagement with citizens and how government will listen to citizens them and citizens will listen to government, and then an example of good governance and democracy. Immediately after that, their promise say we will include them in panda validation, and we don't want. So the person, the CSO organization, will be they join with validation on government use, government subsidy use, and it contributes to that process there. And now then they develop a final document out of that validation there. This is the importance of the CSO government dialogue, because then the need for engage on government processes and guidelines. My personal view on it, I mean, look at the data for hand washing stations. I think hand washing station between even 2019 and 2018 annual school census in the range from about 67% to something. Now the minimum is over 80% of school and we get hand washing stations. That is not the same as there is running water. That's not the same as there is pipe-borne water, boreholes or streams. Access of water are different depending on where side people then there. And it also let me see if you get pipe. That means the water they flow inside the pipe every day, right? So water is a major thing. because, as you say, usually the fact that we need hydration for more continue for land, the fact that we need them for sanitation, the fact that we need them for all things. And we don't engage with the Salwako and Ministry of Water Resources. We don't meet and put a technical group for wash, and then don't begin to engage. They don't do a feasibility study on how to bring wash. I think they said not a small money, $60 million for bring can water all the school then.
So the proposals now, that's one, the wash facility for stand alone whenever one of the disperse subsidy to schools them, and then they call say 15% of the subsidies then for go to wash facilities now each school them, so that for address this issue. Coming to the 2022 fiscal year, how the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education hope for implement these aspects of the education sector?
We all opinion matter, but we all opinion are just one opinion out of many opinions, and we listen and engage, and we all as a group they collectively decide. I think say it making views heard pan the validation, and I think say as everybody with the whatever then decide, whatever not so we they decide, whatever the validation, the stakeholder then decide, now go inside the final guidelines. But even with performance-based financing, I know say wash na a critical element inside with performance-based financing. I mentioned so we get about $19 million, $20 million performance-based financing will give to primary school then, over 5,000 primary school then, and wash na a critical component within the able investing.
All right, continue for the between at the studio. Dr. David Shengeh, Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education. We will come back to you, and when we come, you will give you updates on the different system where you don't go represent the country and waiting come out from then different work at the for the education sector and salon. The time from a studio clock now 8:28. We take commercial break and look at more issues.
Una picking for discharge today, but una not pay the money yet.
Doctor, give me your number. I don't send them.
Alex, I don't give you the number for send hour in fees.
I don't send them.
How much the big bag is?
Na 320,000.
I not get the full cash now.
Na for send them.
Send them? What in this send them we all man they talk about?
You late for your Rio Mary. Send them now go call the Ecopo service. This one fast pass to simple. With the Ecopo, you go send and receive money to anybody, any sign a salon, simple one. The person no need forget bank account or internet. Even if na bought phone you get, it go receive and cash money, easy one. With the Ecopo, you go buy something, any sign a salon, and the person will go buy, go cash them, simple one. You go use Ecopo, any side where you see this sticker. With the go call bank, mobile banking, just don't easy. Ecopo, send them.
GhanaSongs.org. They causing confusion.
But this confused me, boo. Look where Uncle Nat in World Solid. Look him block them where them beat for him, where they save solid. And at the same amount of cement and sand then they use for beat me on. But look what in the happen. Me wall down for them, all the block they all don't scatter. It like say some kind of magic behind this. You want to know the magic behind this? Now the superior quality, extra strong, extra life and extra yield cement we are the use, and that's not Dangote 3X Portland limestone cement. Dangote cement now the highest grade cement in the country. When a 42.5 R grade cement, when no one day come na this country, and one of the highest grade pan cement where you go get na the wall. Where you want you concrete, wall and block solid, use Dangote 42.5 R cement, you no go regret them. You go get Dangote 42.5 R cement, na all the shop and building material store na the one whole country.
Alright, the program Good Morning Salon they continue, and as we said earlier na the headline them today na the program we will get first Attorney General we na lawyer Francis Charles Magai. They on the line now for giving imposition on the suspension we government do on the Auditor General and one of in deputy. Well, on the line we get lawyer Charles Francis Magai. Good morning, welcome to the program Good Morning Salon. The program you listen to now Good Morning Salon. We did try forget Charles Francis Magai on the phone. Good morning and welcome to the program. The program Good Morning Salon, they continue. Good morning, Mr. Magai.
Good morning, my dear, and good morning to the people of Sierra Leone.
We see you write a letter to the Deputy Minister of Justice with concerns and what you self get as of your thoughts on the suspension of Madam Lara Taylor-Pierce, we are the Auditor General, and one of in Deputy Tamba Momo. You go share with the public what are your thoughts them on the suspension of them two people in the.
Well, thank you very much. In the first place, I now write a letter to the Deputy Justice Minister. As a Sierra Leonean, I believe say for put me thoughts on paper on a topic we get for do with the suspension of one of the people then where this country depend on for work transparent manner. So now my thoughts on paper because I don't think to so many contributions on this issue and I don't watch people then they talk on television and I don't read the article where my colleague write, Francis Gabidon, where I get a lot of respect for. And I also see people then they criticize some of the things we say rather unfortunately. So now I make us say at least make put my own thoughts on paper so that we will educate people then on this all important issue.
Magai, waiting at this your thoughts where you write, but because we don't see a lot of explanation only come from different angles after that suspension day, where especially gets for do with the sign of the constitution where people on the quote and they explain as to waiting they understand on this section 119 subsection 9 of the Constitution Act number 6.
Right. Fortunately, they come in broken, the line not so clear, but from which I gather from which you say, make us say straight away that I know they protect any particular individual or institution their interest contribute as a Sierra Leonean and as one of the most senior lawyers in the country. And since this whole topical issue hinge on legal interpretation, I believe they do a disservice to this nation if I not come in with my ideas. Make us say straight away, Lawyer Gabidon quite right, where he say the president get the right for hire and fire. The issue here not for whether the president gets the right for hire or fire. Now the manner way he go about suspending them two people there, now that's not the issue. And now that me address. And also whether in fact Napoleon will initiate this whole thing by writing that letter on the 8th of November 2021 to the Chief Justice, when I am the chairman of the Judicial and Legal Service Commission, get any legal authority for write such a letter. I mean, make a talk and straight. The Constitution, Section 64 of the Constitution, 9 creates the office of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice. Conjunctive, not disjunctive. In other words, they are not separated. The only authority we can separate them are Parliament, and until Parliament separates them, they remain one single entity. And if you read the Constitution, no provision out there where they talk about Deputy Justice Minister or Deputy Attorney General. Even if that were to be the case, you get certain prerequisites then where you get for satisfied. That is to say, before you can become a Deputy Attorney General and Minister of Justice, you for don't at least qualify for being a Justice of the Supreme Court. We rather, unfortunately, Napoleon is far from that threshold.
So, Mr.
Because
Magai,
just for the 20 years.
Mr. Magai,
Yes.
As you state earlier, you say you are one of the senior lawyers them na the country. Now let me look at the legitimacy of the office of the president suspending then 2 people here. From the background where you get as a lawyer and also you don't serve as in the capacity as attorney general na the country. Any legitimate reason they as per the constitution for let the office of the president suspend then 2 people here?
Sorry, come again. I think the line they come in broken. Come again.
So I dey ask from the law background where you get, and you
Yes.
don't also serve as attorney general. In this
Yes.
case where the office of the president suspending 2 people here, illegitimate?
No, it's not legitimate at all. It's unfortunate, and me not blame the president. Much as the president can get an option for do waiting right. You see, when you're not president, you get so many people them way ready for give you advice and for serve you, not necessarily as minister. I mean, as president, you get friends with our lawyers, you get friends with our judges. So when legal matters again where arise, especially sensitive ones, them, me go expect the president for go outside of officialdom, call 1 or 2 of them one way he trust, within that profession, we get idea, we go give them honest advice. Because the stage where we don't reach now, the only option where the president gets for save this situation, now for withdraw that or suspension. And always good when you na president, you take a decision, you go forward, then you come backwards. Give a very good image. So in future, me go advise them outside of officialdom, like the Attorney General, when the Chief Legal Advisor, you get other people, then very senior, highly qualified, reputable lawyers or judges. Tell them, say, but now this, then don't tell me, waiting are your opinion. Then based on waiting, then say, at the end of the day, now you get for take the decision. But in this case, there is no other way other than withdrawing the letter of suspension and do the right thing.
We seem as a country if we don't pass that stage of withdrawing the letter, because we see last night State House also issue a release outside and put names of people where the president already don't appoint for serve na the capacity for open the tribunal for set the investigation against the people where they on suspension. Waiting are your advice at this stage?
Well, you see, that one is wrong. You see, because the constitution very clear as to when the president can suspend. Because you can only suspend when you don't set up the tribunal. Now, when you don't set up the tribunal, so as to ensure, say, transparency go there, prejudice not go there, now you they suspend. But they suspend before you set up the tribunal. And even when you don't set up the tribunal, you can still go on for withdrawing your suspension if the circumstances so warrant.
Right.
Because that in section 137, subsection 6 of the Constitution, it says, inside the question of removal of a judge, in this case, the Auditor General and Deputy from office don't arise, and the President don't refer the matter to a committee for investigation, and the President can suspend the judge from performing the functions of his office, in this case, the Auditor General, and any such suspension can at any time be revoked by the President and shall in any case cease to have effect if the tribunal recommends to the President that the judge or the Auditor General not for be removed. So he gets the power under the Constitution, section 137, subsection 6, for withdraw that letter of suspension, especially when the public don't express a negative viewpoint of the precipitous nature of the suspension. In other words, they act before time.
All right. Many thanks to you, Lawyer Charles Francis Magai, as he sharing thoughts about the suspension of the Auditor General and in one of the deputy them. Well, yesterday evening, the Office of the Press Secretary, the winner presidential spokesman, State House, we also issue a public notice, outside and say, following consultation with the Judicial and Legal Service Commission and pursuant to Section 1375A of the 1991 Constitution, they inform the general public, say, His Excellency the President does appoint a tribunal for let investigate Madam Lara Tilopias and in deputy. And according to that public notice, say, now Honorable Justice Nyawo Finda Matthew Jones, now the chairman for the tribunal, and they also get Mr. Lahai M. Fama as member and Mr. Abubakar King as member na the tribunal. Well, the program Good Morning Salon, they continue, and we look at more issues na the program this morning, Musa.
Yes, we go na the correctional center. We say because of the bad health condition of the 2018 presidential candidate for the Alliance Democratic ADP party, Mohamed Kamarimba Mansari, make plenty institutions then they raise concern about this issue. In one interview with Radio Democracy, the medical superintendent for the Salon Correctional Center, Dr. Tambalebi, don't confirm to Radio Democracy say the center not get the capacity for Andul Mohamed Kamarimba Mansari in health condition where it is now. He talked this through interview with Usman Kamara.
I mean, they seek the welfare of the prisoners in terms of health-wise. Would I seek at the treat them, at the diagnose, at the send them for go do tests, then come back, and give them treatment. Then at the same time, if prisoner are not able to go to court because of ill health, I can write to court for tell and say, this prisoner is not well, so you're not able to come to court.
As you mentioned, say, now you're not the one with the check and diagnose inmates within the correctional, both male and female?
Yes, both male and female.
Okay. Now we see on the 16th of November, release come out from the correctional center. We talk about Kamarimba in health. What's the reason for this letter?
Well, I go assess Kamarimba. They supposed to go to court as them say. But what I assess him, I find out say, well, first I interview him. Then later on, I examine him. I find out say, Kamarimba not seem well, well. I check him pressure being high, and other parameters there, I check, well. So I see and say, go go attend court. So now I make a write the court for say, Kamarimba, well, go able attend court.
So how long, you don't watch Kamarimba, and how long you don't go through some events in there where you highlight inside on a release on a pool?
In the first place, we can assess him. Where I assess Kamarimba, after some time, I find out, say, Kamarimba not be well. Okay, then I begin for treatment. Then later on, I say, well, let's seek a second opinion. I write to the ministry, let them send me expert doctors there from Connaught, for let them can assess Kamarimba. They can assess Kamarimba, almost what I say, and the same thing themselves say. Then I see continue for treatment. After some time again, I send again for another expert opinion. Then self come, then can assess Kamarimba, we do some tests. Then self talk say, Kamarimba, well. But the urologist, I send for the urologist, Kanaya, he can't see Kamarimba. And say make your opinion for say Kamarimba, well. So, but me they continue for treat Kamarimba. But the same symptoms they no more, now Kamarimba, now they continue for G, you see. So this time now, I go check again. I found that in pressure high and other things there, parameters, and they will not be normal. So now I can say, well, come on, go back and court.
So, as you mentioned, not to the first time this, Kamarimba, they go through some of them issue here we get for do it, back pain, low blood, nervousness. Now, the correctional center get a kind of capacity for treat inmates them where, go get some of these the similar symptoms like Kamarimba?
In the first place, in Kamarimba in case, we not get the capacity for continue for treatment. And like one of the things themselves where they find out for say you get a stone, urethral stone, then you get prostate, enlarged prostate. We're not able to treat them in the dinner, you see. But since it did with winner, what they buy you?
So during the process there, when I don't find out say get all the issue here, when I don't tell the appropriate authority like the master and the register for like we and say these are some of the things we Kamarimba they go to.
Well, we get a channel here where they do me work. When I send to the ministry, where professionals they can assess an area, then write a report. or share an among those where they're supposed to give. All man get a copy, you see.
So now, as on the 16th, if for appear court, but Enomi able go due to some of the health condition them we either go through. So normally, what can be the advice of the correctional center if somebody they go through some of the health condition? Yeah?
Well, what we can do really, we can refer them to either government hospital or 34, and that will be don't do for Karimba. We'll be not at one time refer now 34 hospital. If we need for some time, the Nigerian treatment, we'll bring them back now. So now that we can able to do.
So now, what will be your advice, to authority then we they listen you in relation to the health condition of Kamarimba?
Well, I would just say let them come to the aid of Kamarimba. What they able to do for our lay? Well, let them do it.
That's not the medical superintendent for the Salon Correctional Center, Dr. Tamba Lebi. They talked to Usman Kamara inside the interview, which I confirm say the 2018 presidential candidate for the Alliance Democratic ADP party, Mohamed Kamarimba Mansari, not well, and the sickness they beyond the capacity of the correctional center for treatment. The program na Good Morning Salon will come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. We go for short break. We will continue the program. Good Morning Salon.
Echo Bank, the leading bank na Salon. Don't come.
Hey, this blow me mind, Bobs. You don't hear about EcoBank, the new service to the customer them. That's not the EcoBank Express points. When I'm going for make it easy for me and you. We don't want to go with Stemna Bank. Now that make EcoBank Express point they plenty side near you area like a pharmacy, shop, supermarket, and even na microfinance or any side where you see the Express point sign. On top that, EcoBank Express point they give you the service where you bank they give you even where the bank don't lock. Like you go put money, pull money, open express account, pay your bill, buy airtime, receive money through Western Union, and send and receive money through rapid transfer. When an EcoBank their own money transfer service, where they operate at 33 African countries them, also EcoBank Day, and you don't need for carry any foreign currency. EcoBank care about you. You just go to any side where the agent and the express point sign day today for easy banking, easy access, no yagba.
EcoBank, the leading.
When you buy and service your Toyota vehicle to the right people them, you know they get one ADAT. And that's na Sika Motors Sierra Leone Limited, na 21 Bible Road Kisi Freetong. Sika Motors na the only authorized distributor for Toyota vehicle and genuine Toyota spare parts them na the country for Toyota Motors Corporation of Japan. Them vehicle and design for meet the weather condition of this country. Them make them vehicle then specially for meet the utility, commercial, private, and executive vehicular need. You go get 3 year or 100,000 kilometer warranty. In Otapdeo, you go get license and registration with free regular service up to 15,000 kilometer for any Toyota vehicle where you buy from Sika Motors. With the state-of-the-art workshop, we get modern diagnostic machine them together with trained technician them go give you vehicle the service precision where it need, where that go give you the collect where you deserve. For no more about Sika Motors Sierra Leone Limited, go na number 21 Bible Road Kisi Freetong. Telephone 088 012 350 and 088 012 355. Sika Motors Sierra Leone Limited, the party where you for believe, forget original and quality Toyota vehicle and spare parts them.
The program Good Morning Salon, they continue. We come back to the Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education. We don't talk a bit about what's going to happen locally in terms of improving on the educational standards nationally, especially putting quality into the free quality education. Now, let me look at you attend several meetings internationally and represent Salon at different platforms. What can come out of then different meetings and the way you attend, especially so we get to do it under your direct supervision when at the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education.
Thank you very much. The first one we participate in at the COP 26, and they will be made part of the delegation where His Excellency will lead, and my own role having for talk about climate education, and on the 5th We have that denying all the different education ministers that may participate. We engage with several countries there, and for advocate for make the country then we are the largest emitters, we are the wealthiest country then for take climate education seriously. Now the nationally determined contributions for the different countries then out of about 95 countries that would evaluate Salone, now only one of about a dozen we focus on climate education. And we position really not just for Salone but for Africa and the least developing country there. Now that the highest emitters and the people that we get money not good to talk about climate action, we not include climate education. Whereas we now we they suffer, we now we not get money, now we they give the responsibility so we people and for make them think about climate education. And so the position where we stress now that all countries then for take climate education seriously, the kind way where we they take it seriously. And as Salone, we don't put inside with curriculum, with basic education curriculum framework, and we call subjects then, and even in SSS, we forget environmental science as a subject, as a standalone subject. We get in all the different clubs and all the different engagements and so one that before challenge the world, for rise up to we level, for rise up to we standard, and because we believe say not only through education, only through climate education that we're able to get a sustainable future, whereas we begin then we're able to take care of the environment.
Talking about inclusion of environment education into the curriculum, especially in the JSS or the basic education curriculum, talking about climate issues, na complex issue, how una don broken down for ensure say the picking the more they teach at that level understand the subject matter properly and also train experts them na the schools them for deliver the notes thing.
Yeah, we get experts then, they help we deliver this, right? So we curriculum framework, they talk about general what we want for do in terms of preparedness for the 21st century. And then experts then they now they work. In fact, we work very closely with experts then from Takugama. So Takugama experts then work with we and then help with team with the content as well in the inclusion, and we'll forget more. The thing about we in education, at the Ministry of Education, and usually people then can go panel conference and they not talk no more than they pan talk. We know to talk we do. We actually they take action and it's in what they go represent and it's in what don't do. It's in what they do. And most importantly, if we go na then conference then they beyond talk. We they make commitment on stage, we they implement her in real time. So for example, when I've been there on one pan the session them, and then we realize say actually almost all countries they not get climate education as part of the education sector plan. I text Mrs. Momo, them in there, I think Boo and McKinney Denton and they pan the district consultation. I said when I add this as part of the consultation, then subsequently all the further conversation they wouldn't get, then the team then engage on climate education. Is that really we get experts them around, and I think we also collaborate a lot with the Ministry of Environment and EPA and UNESCO for make sure say we they implement this now.
You attend the UNESCO conference na Paris and also you attend the COP26 na Glasgow, Scotland. What in Salone gained in terms of the education sector and climate issues na then to conference here we represent Salone?
The UK get the presidency of COP this year, and actually a day after we engagement, UK published a strategy for climate education. So then get climate education strategy, and we get several. I meet with the Minister of Schools in the UK. I meet with the Special Envoy from UK, and meet with the FCDO Education Director there, and with the British Council. Actually, and I get follow-up meeting with British Council Salone next week for further engage on then climate education work then from COP. In terms of UNESCO, one bad thing we do now UNESCO is that then put Salone as one of the integrate we as part of the high-level steering committee. So you get three main bodies globally around the world where you talk about education. You get Global Partnership for Education, we now in the raise funds. We go and for raise $5 billion. We don't raise about $4.5 billion around the world. And at that organization, they decide how much country then they get money, which country they get money, and Salon the part of the board and the executive committee. Now we they decide on how the money then they scatter. You get the Global Education Monitoring Report, where now the independent body where they hold the world accountable for SDG for. Now we the chair that body there. And in fact, with the current reports we then get for launch now on non-state actors and private education actually, because not private education people then can make and say it worse for public education, but you need both. And that and so one thing we come back with that Salon they don't ask we if for more consider for host the next GEM report launch. The last one at Germany happened. This current one will go launch so now Dubai they happen, and the 2023 one that Salon they don't ask we for the and then a big honor, a big deal than the for make me UNESCO the Assistant Director General of Education say do you now for consider for host this and then on data and technology actually. So for make me then the around the world me then thinks if you talk about data, technology, education, a Salon for go a big honor than for we and me get for ask the government for hopefully for CES we want to host this inside 2023.
At the end of the day, we don't come from then to conference there as well and you represent the education sector. Earlier I asked you within Salon don't came out of then two conferences where the country don't attend. Coming to implement them, what are the policies them way una they look at na then schools them for ensure say waiting una go talk and waiting una say una they can implement reflect on the knowledge of the picking them who they can teach the environment issues?
I think that's a very good question. And one panel who don't they do differently. We are really proud of actually that we engagement with CSO there and with citizens through the toll-free line and the situation room engagement. But with CSO then we don't give CSO then resources through we project. For make me then go now all districts in this country, me then engage and understand. So if I go ask people the question and they tell me what's in the fit I want for you, or the way they complain to me different from how then they complain to CSO then. So I say me the CSO then go engage people then write reports and send that to we, then we they take that report there and act on that. So then I want just independent monitoring. I also mentioned say with the get what's they call the Ngo Consortium. 4 international NGOs, 4 local NGOs, then they part of a consortium where they help we as well for implementing and they take survey, then they all say, what thing I want for me we do now that for make sure so we close the loop between citizen and government. And the way for close the loop between citizen and government now by engaging with the CSO then, by engaging with the NGO then, and by giving a direct line access between the citizen and government. And all the citizens they get direct access to me. I mean,
are they protected?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
because it is what makes some parents, them especially in fear for come out and speak. Name schools, for example, and because they want for protect them picking them.
It's a where you call you say they give you name, we they act on that. We follow up with people then directly for understand, but we know ever they go say maybe in Peking say that this they happen or Joe in Peking say that they happen, but. We they take action.
How effectively complaint handling mechanism they with the ministry?
With the situation room, 80-60, 24 hours. Literally, I'll give one example. I guess several examples. But what the UMA the United Muslim School Smart Farm. Right. Then call we, then tell we that same day we did come on, it may not been well, not been no system, not well. 5 o'clock, then get meeting, then engage the community, next morning school open. Or like this school now at Hello, we send this video, so just now we citizens then reach out to with some other school in will by force as well, where they go online. It's very rapid. And also where I can engage, they engage online, the people then they engage online as well.
So as we wrap up the program now when people for expect what's the results for the out?
We try, and again in full engagement with the people then. Teacher then, the school then, the challenge what we get, where WAEC they tell me is that the teacher they not degree release, then the school they not degree release, then teacher then for go mark. particularly then private schooling.
So then still a mark.
Yeah, because, well, then don't for mark the objective in them. You don't run down there for long, but the main subjects then, like English, biology, math, then still the mark. But then private school then, a big, now we all picking there. Now for release, when a teacher, they may then go help mark.
But then school day in session, so...
Well, this is the issue. We want more results and come on, more picking and go mark, but then get, weigh them, we then go able to get made and teacher then cover. But if the teacher then not go mark, if you not release the teacher for go mark because you want maybe you picking, you feel say you picking them better pass or that picking then we all go suffer. So all man need for sacrifice more. All man need for playing your role. May all the principles then really meet and allow them teacher them for go mark like then done. If that 2 weeks they've been if we them being assigned, if they been show up like they done. But because they not show up, now make with the extend. Do ya the big man? All man play their own part for make sure say the book learning will go before.
Many thanks for you joining at the program this morning, Dr. David Shengeh, Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education. Now, this edition of the program, Good Morning Salon de Lefuna, plenty thank you to the production team. Michael Sambola and Alex Lawrence Kroma produced the program. DJ Lava Mekuna Simina Facebook, give it technical support, and Usman Kamara, sorry, Mekuna Simina Facebook. So till we meet again. Mabel Kabadi say, get yourself a wonderful day. Goodbye.
And Musa Kamara say, goodbye.